Good evening everyone and welcome along to the SRS Super Formula Series. We are here for round 2 of the championship as we take in the Red Bull Ring from Spielberg in Austria. My name is James. I'm going to be taking you through the stream as always as your lead commentator and solo commentator tonight as well. Round 2 of course takes us to Suzuka, and it's going to be fantastic to see how all of our drivers get on out on track. There are 13 drivers currently out on track, all doing their last bit of practice. We ride on board now with Marcello, who's the first man we will ride on board with in practice, as we have the standard cam of course and display all on. Looking then at the standings coming into tonight, Caliber leads the way on 56 points with Superhero in second, tied with this man here, Marcello, in second on 45. Dudley in fourth on 41, with Shadow in fifth on 37. Doug sixth on 28, with Hairraiser in seventh on 22. Bar in eighth on 14. C-Mech, Coxie, Petrolhead all tied for ninth on 8 points. Tap and Olive tied for 12th on 2. And sorry I got no ID. Didn't complete the first race, of course. DNF'd in the second race because he didn't even attend. And sorry I got no ID down at the back of the field. That is the results from last week in terms of the driver's standings. Caliber leading by 11 points coming into tonight. Plenty of races still to go though in the season. The Red Bull Ring, of course, playing host to our second round and to our next two races, of course, the feature race and the sprint race, of course. We are here tonight to take on all of the action out on track. You can see there on the left-hand side of your screen, Shadow, a 118.6 out on track, has got the fastest lap. So, very good lap from Shadow. Obviously, imagining that he's got slipstream on that lap, possibly from Marcello or from Tice if he was out on the track. But as we come around the final couple of corners, we do have to pay tribute, of course, to the legendary Murray Walker, who sadly passed away at the grand old age of 97. Of course, Murray, one of the greatest F1 commentators, if not the greatest F1 commentator to ever step into a commentary box. And he, and I'm sure your thoughts and my thoughts are with the family and friends of Murray Walker, and what I'm sure is a really sad time. He is just one of those commentators, that voice will never be heard ever again in the same realm. And yes, he is one of my idols as well, so hopefully we're going to do Murray Walker proud, and I'm sure you guys would like to send in your best wishes and thoughts and prayers to Murray Walker and to the friends and family of his tragic and sad passing last night when it was announced, just before I went live for League of Europe when it was announced. But we are here for tonight. Shadow on top of 118.6. I think we are waiting till 7 o'clock to get us underway. Everyone has joined the lobby. Tice is hosting the lobby tonight, so I don't have to worry about hosting the lobby and then trying to do everything at once. It really didn't work last week because we didn't get any interviews in. But what I can promise you though, after the first race we will get the top 3 in. After the second race we'll also get the top 3 in, so we'll hear the interviews in finest glory. We come here on board with Marcello at the final corner, looking to try and improve. 118.6, he improves from 119.4, 3/10 off his personal best. Out on track with Olive, just getting out of the way there to the right-hand side. But I believe, because Marcello just came back into pit lane, I believe we are ready to go. So hopefully that will transpond into Tice starting here tonight. Good to see everyone in the chat as well. Of course, if you have got any thoughts on any of our drivers here tonight, Tice is now starting qualifying. He must have the stream up, which is very good to see, as now we've got 13 drivers about to do battle out on track. Qualifying, of course, 10 minutes worth of qualifying around the Red Bull Ring, and then of course a 30-minute race, feature race, and then a sprint race. Lovely looking view, by the way, looking out onto the track. That is the start-finish straight that you are seeing on your screen, and Shadow looks like he's going to be one of the first out on track. He won't be the first out on track, but we'll see. This is on board with camera towards turn 3. Really lovely view as we come on board. I think Gamer Coxie might be the first out on track. Gamer Coxie, of course, running his own car. He's represented by Logitech, Sharpie on there, car number 14, of course, Gamer Coxie in for the Brit. Bar, I think, is behind him, and I think Shadow is just behind him out on track as well. Gamer Coxie, like last week, is going to be the first to set a lap out on track, and these guys have got honestly, they've got no respect for these track limits, because these track limits out on track can be very hard to try and follow So it's going to be fascinating to see how this is all going to unfold. Gamercox, you would imagine, will be down around the mid-pack, probably down the bottom half of the field. Marcello in third position currently joined second in the standings, third position out on track currently, so Marcello will be hoping to probably set the quickest time out of everyone in these early stages. But we are about to go on board then with Coxie, and we'll take you on board with the cockpit cam, which I loved to ride you on board with last week in qualifying. Ride you on board again. This game of Coxie now comes out the final corner at turn 10 of Red Bull Mobile, and now comes up the hill towards turn 1. You can see driver's eye. You can't really see much running up towards turn 1, but trust me, braking zone will come up just after the 100 metre board. He'll brake, beautifully done, and now turns his car in towards turn 1, runs out wide slightly. If you get across the yellow curbs and rejoin just after the yellow curbs, you will pick up a penalty through there. Game of Coxie clearly fine. He's using up that overtake mode up already to 75%. Got to be careful, of course, on the consumption of the overtake mode. He doesn't want to use up too much. So now comes up in towards turn 3. As now runs down the hill in towards turn 4. Of course, normally the 3 DRS zones around this track. One on the start finish straight. So we accidentally go on board with tap by mistake. I don't know why that happened. There is Coxie though, running down in towards turn 4. Yeah, 3 DRS zones, 1 down the start finish straight, 1 down in towards turn number 3, and then 1 down in towards turn number 4 as well. Here normally out on track. These guys, of course, can use up their ERS and overtake mode wherever they like. As Game of Coxie runs out wide, nearly does a me. Might pick up a 5-10 penalty for that, and he runs out wide again, and that is his lap pretty much done, I think. We'll run aboard then with Marcello, just in behind, out on track. The Italian is in. Trevor has joined us. Not sure if his race is already finished, but Game of Coxie leading the way. Marcello in second, Bar in third, Superhero in fourth, Shadow in fifth. Trevor does want to come in the commentary box, by the way. He can set up a party with me, and I'll join him in due course. For Marcello now running towards the line. Game of Coxie quickest, but that's bettered by Marcello. 119.5 to start us off the night. Superhero and Shadow just follow through as well. Shadow into second, Superhero in third. Good left time by Caliber as well, defending the current leader of the championship into second. I can't ride on board with him, but he is there in second. He's 400s off the back of Marcello. Caliber, there he is, in second position, the German. Very hard-hitting battle with Marcello last week, actually. So it could be fascinating to see if these two stop on the top 2 of the standings. Then maybe Caliber has got an advantage over Marcello. Maybe Marcello's got an advantage over Caliber. Who knows? As that Shadow off to the right-hand side there. Coming down in towards turn 4. That's the first lap pretty much done. And actually, Caliber, even more impressive. He didn't use up any overtake mode up on that. Caliber in second. I have just got an invite to the party from Trevor. I'm guessing he is he has just attributed himself not to completing his own race here tonight. So apologies for the blue screen, but we'll join him in now. And there is Mr. Trevor Holden in the commentary box alongside me. Trevor, how you doing?
I am doing very well, James. I hope you're doing well yourself. Of course, got to finish the race at Fuji a little bit earlier, so let's just say I'm pretty much on a phone, just kind of watching over the stream. Of course, it's always good to be back in the SRS commentary booth, especially for Season 4 of the Super Formula World Challenge for round number 2 here at the Red Bull Ring. Of course, very excited to see a lot of up-and-coming drivers participating in this series, including Superhero, looks like on pole position at the moment with his first lap, with Caliber, one of the SDM team cars in the number 50 there. That's silver and black and red, looking very good on track as well. Doug Barrow, also the Cost Racing My SDM team, into third place. Looking like a very interesting shake-up of the qualifying order in the first half of the session, James.
Yeah, 0.5 of a second separating the top 5 currently out on track. Superheroes, you mentioned that, on top by 1/10 of a second actually, nearly 1/10.5. The Italian Marcello in second, Caliber in third, the champion. I'm calling him a champion already. The championship leader coming into tonight. Goodness me, I'm already messing up my words. It's because Sunderland won the EFL trophy, that's why. Superhero leading, Marcello second, Caliber in third, Shadow in fourth, Doug in fifth. Dudley, normally good in qualifying, was very good last week in qualifying, takes the inside line on Shadow, gets the move done. If this was the race, that would have been a nice move, but Dudley, hopefully, going to try and improve on his lap time. He's 3.1 seconds down, 0.9 of a second down on Superhero's lap, and Superhero, he won the sprint race last week. He's into the pit lane now. Marcello, though, goes within 700ths of a second of him.
Yeah, it's a very close qualifying indeed here, of course, and especially some of the new and returning talent, especially in the hands of Superhero, of course, like I said, winning that sprint race at Suzuka for round number 1. Caliber race 1 winner at the feature for Suzuka. Of course, very, very talented driver. Of course, we don't have a lot of German talent here usually in the SRS League, but of course, Caliber, I've had the honor to race with them for, of course, well over a year now. This would be a year and 3 months now, of course. Very, very talented driver behind the wheel of any given car. I can give you a couple of allocates regarding Caliber. Of course, VRR, Suzuka 1000 GP300 pole sitter, of course, and of course, very talented at the wheel of the AXR 24-hour of Nürburgring race. Of course, that driver right there, starting 7th in the 6th stint and final stint, bringing it home in 2nd place behind the SBR by SMM guys. Of course, very talented driver in any given race car that you put him in, even if it's a Subaru GT3.
Yeah, Caliber as well, just going back on, well, a lot of history within the leagues that I've been in. Caliber used to be known as Nicholas Carl, of course, and he was back in TFRL B League, which I used to run back in 2018. That is how long I've known him for. Caliber now coming through into the pit lane.
Coming into the pits. Yep, Caliber going to throw on a new set of racing super sauce, which will be a brand new set of Michelins, as well as Superhero and Marcello. Superhero actually stuck in the pit lane, so I'm not sure what the issue with that is, unless he's got the pit glitch, which could be a possibility. So I'm kind of wondering if he's just waiting for the right time to exit the pits, as Marcello now moves out of the pits for the final 2 minutes 40 seconds left on the clock. Caliber also in as well. The pit lane entry, very, very long for a lot of these cars, and that's why I was kind of wondering why we were seeing a lot of people coming into the pits. I'm kind of wondering if Superhero's actually stuck. Now the crew changing the tires on that BWT-sponsored Super Formula machine. I'm not sure what the exact car number that is. I think it's 18. Yes, the number 18. I guess borrowing it from Kyle Busch in the NASCAR Cup Series. That's a little funny detail right there as well. So we'll take you down the field once again. Superhero out in front by 0.07 of a second over the number 5 of Marcello for the Cymax Motorworks crew. And they've got a long history of in the pre-SLM days. And of course, one of the top dogs teams here in the SRS, winning all of the team's titles and drivers' titles. If to put that in, actually no, not the drivers' titles, all of team's titles except for the first 2 GT3 Series championships. Of course, they did win the team series, the tournament series versus Speed Demon Motorsports, and of course a very credited team, of course, is Hairraiser now up in the 3rd place. What a good performance, Hairraiser in the number 69 Costa by SDM machine over Caliber. But I can imagine Caliber on his outlap is going to be very, very aggressive, using a lot of that overtake going into turn number 1.
Yeah, Superhero as well, waiting, pretty much got off the track for himself at this stage, and he's going very slowly out on track. He'd be hoping to try and improve as Dudley goes to the top of the timings with a 119.2. But look, he's just used up about 25%, just under 25% of that overtake mode that the drivers can use up. Remember to consume that overtake mode up to use it up. I was telling the guys, the viewers, that normally there's 3 DRS zones on this track. There's one up here in towards turn 3 at Rint, then down in towards turn 4, and then down in towards turn 1 as well. But Dudley clearly going quicker. He's a 10th up. He's got Hairraiser just in front of him out on track as my foot nearly goes through my linen basket, which is terrible. Dudley now on the back of Hairraiser. Hairraiser gets out of the way, gives him a good slipstream, and now the American will be sent about half a minute to go in qualifying. Dudley out on top, Superhero in second. He's just begun his lap. Marcello is on a lap though as Doug goes up into second as well. He's only 1/100th of a second off Dudley. Looked like he got a little bit of slipstream from Cymax there as well. Marcello now round in the final corner. Let's see what the Italian can do. Runs wide for Cymax, but now comes across the line. This is going to be on top. Comes across the line. How on earth has he set that? It's a 117.6. How on earth has he done that? Surely overtake mode.
That has got to be purely on overtake. As Barr now into 4th place.
Shadow second.
Shadow second. Wow. And I think Caliber got a little bit involved in that as well. Just could not get a proper lap. All the way down in 8th place. What a turn of events for this qualifying order. Really, really unexpected qualifying indeed. Is Olive 48-48 goes up into, or still 12th place. My apologies there. Who are we still waiting to finish?
Superhero.
I think Superhero. I was eyeing him a little bit earlier in this session. I don't think he's up this time by, but he's going to use as much overtake as he can.
Oh.
It's going to be close, but I don't think yet. Just short of improving. But big ups for Marcello, who's 2.2 seconds down. I think he's just trying to finish the lap now.
Yeah.
Shadow making it an SMM 1-2, but Dudley, the American driver, clearly I think the fastest American we've ever had in this league, and the Repsol sponsor to Super Formula car, in 3rd place. Doug Barrow, what a good performance for him in 4th place, but Bar 27, a mega surprise for his skill level in 5th place, so this is very good for Bar 27. Normally you see him at the back of the grid, but what a performance he's doing for 5th place here for the start of the feature race.
And that is the end of qualifying, I do believe. We are waiting on, I thought it was Tap, but Tap has actually left the session within qualifying. I'm not sure if it's going to cause any glitches in terms of the race start, but Marcello out on top, Shadow in 2nd, Dudley in 3rd, Doug in 4th, Bar in 5th, and there's the full rundown of the grid. Only 1.3 seconds separating the top 3, which is not too bad, and not many drivers actually getting a clean lap in, because you saw that to the right-hand side, all the red dots signalling that people got penalties, and there is the 12 drivers. If we run down the field, Marcello out on top, Shadow in 2nd, Tarmax 1-2, Dudley, Doug on the 2nd row, Bar, Superhero 3rd row, Heres a Caliber 4th row, Coxey, Petrolhead 5th row, and Tarmac and Olive on the 6th row. And we now look from the gantry, from the side of the track, the 5 red lights are about to come on here for round 2, race 3 of the season, the feature race here in Austria. The 5 red lights are about to come on, and it's lights out and away we go. Marcello is off to a great start. Dudley, though, might have got the best start out of the front 3, and now looks to the outside line on Shadow. Shadow is right there. Shadow could be actually squeezed by his teammate and by the American. Goes around the outside. Good start by Doug as well. He's up into 3rd position. I'm going to back out quickly as we run up the hill in towards turn number 3, but Marcello leads the way. Shadow in 2nd. Shadow pretty much giving him the boost up the backside, trying to get the move done. Down in towards turn 1. Doug through into the lead of the race. Brilliant stuff by Doug. How's he got that done? Marcello had a mistake slightly, but Doug, the old-timer, he might not be an old-timer anymore. He's showing the young guns off in the background. I think that's Gamer Coxey off in the background. Doug leads down in towards turn 4 for the first time. Marcello in 2nd, Dudley 3rd, Shadow in 4th, Superhero in 5th, Dudley on the inside line, Shadow on the outside line, now going to be forced onto the outside. Shadow now under pressure from Superhero. Superhero's around the outside of him in the pink car, trying to go around the outside. Can he get the move done through turn 6? Brilliant stuff by Superhero. He's through and he's up into 4th, but Doug leads. Marcello 2nd, Dudley in 3rd, 1.2 seconds separating the top 3. Superhero 4th and Shadow in 5th, and they're pulling away from Hairraiser and Caliber, going side by side and towards turn 9.
What a great start by Doug Barrow in that 13, of course. Very, of course, you usually see him kind of mid-pack, but this is absolutely working to his advantage with Marcello now down into 2nd place. Dudley in 3rd place, but keep an eye out for Superhero. Gonna make a move down to the inside for 3rd place on Dudley, on the American, the British driver in that Honda powered BWT sponsor Super Formula up into 3rd place. I think they might be just missing out on that toe as Marcello now tries to make a move, thinking about down to the outside. Doug Barrow not going to think about defending. Marcello going to show him the no. A little bit of a dive from Marcello, and this is very racy stuff now as they both use a little overtake. Doug Barrow trying to get back ahead of Marcello, and he does so now. Dudley down into 4th place, but keep an eye on Caliber as he goes one-on-one with Shadow, 4th, 5th place, going into the next right-hander here in Caliber. What a dive down to the inside. Great move by Caliber. Very well experienced car driver in the Speed TV Motorsports number 50 Super Formula Honda here. And Doug Barrow pulling about a half a second gap now over Marcello. Now purple sectors, as this is only lap number 2. This is going to be absolutely very feisty indeed here. And it feels like this is going to be an enjoyable race, James.
Shadow's going to go down the inside line. I thought he was on Caliber. Caliber had a really poor run out of turn 8, but now Shadow has to hold in his Shadow in 8th position, in 6th position, currently out on track. Caliber in 5th, Dudley there in 4th. Looking down though, Superhero's Marcello under attack from Superhero. Superhero trying to do what he did last lap around, and he goes down the inside, parks it on the apex. Beautiful stuff by Superhero, but now Marcello's going to have the run. He's got a 10th penalty to serve up as well. That'd be no problem. Running up in towards turn 3. All of this though was letting Doug get away, and all of this consumption of overtake mode, I should say, is now Marcello down the inside line, has to serve up his penalty. Could be under pressure from Dudley actually around the outside of him. The American just on goal slightly, he's through. Round the outside he goes. Dudley's into 3rd position. Marcello really did not like that, and now his old rival and adversary from Suzuka, Caliber, right behind him in 5th.
man, what a crazy, crazy race. And this is only the third lap to keep in mind, so this can go any other way. But Doug Barrow leading the field through very high attrition, and of course just setting the pace, just doing his own thing. Superhero and Dudley are fighting amongst themselves. Superhero using a little bit of overtake to try and stay within that half a second range of Doug Barrow. But Dudley, of course, I know we've had a good barrage of American drivers in this league in the past, but Dudley just really setting the pace in that Red Bull spot for Formula. Is Caliber now, I think, serving his penalty? Yes, he is serving that penalty. Going to lose a couple of positions and a bit of time. But I think as long as he stays in that slipstream of Marcello and Shadow and Marcello, who started this race first and second, have really fallen off in the fourth and fifth. So big surprise from the very experienced and very talented Climax Motorsports crew.
Yeah, but look at the overtake mode compared to some of the guys around them. They're using up less overtake mode as Marcello tries to go around the outside there. Shadow in 5th position is pretty much the same. But look just ahead. Dudley's already consumed about 30% of that overtake mode up. And he's only got, well, we've got 25 minutes left to go. And now making two moves on the straight. Dudley remains though. Marcello not going down the inside line. It's actually Superhero's run it too deep for the lead. Doug holds on to the lead and Superhero ran into the gravel. 360. How's he got that car back going though? It remains to be seen as if he could get ahead of Caliber. He's not, and he remains in 6th position. He did a full 360 through the gravel. Somehow it's recovered. Somehow no more contact either, and he's still in 6th position. And actually, do you know what? He's still in with a shout of this.
That could have been very bad for a lot of his guys. Dudley, Marcello, Shadow, and even including Caliber, which I thought there was going to be a multi-car wreck, and it could have really turned this feature race on its head. But props to the whole field, just taking evasive action, taking a split second to analyze the situation and really just getting past the field. And that's allowed Marcello to get back up onto the spot in 3rd. Dudley in 2nd place. But look at the gap that Doug Barrow has pulled, at least a second on Dudley. So Doug Barrow, at the moment, doing a very fantastic job to put that car, the number 13, up in front. And he's just doing an absolutely impressive job. Dudley, big tank slapper out of turn number 3. Just really trying to keep a hands clutch, get a good clutch on that leading car of Doug Barrow.
Yeah, 1 second the gap. It was 1.2, so it just came down slightly. The American, of course, really showing really good pace last week. 3rd and 4th, I think, last week, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head, in Suzuka. So Dudley really on fire here tonight, but Doug getting away. And the more that Doug gets away, the more he's outside of that second gap, the more and the less the guys in behind actually are going to close up. Dudley and Marcello 2nd and 3rd. Shadow made a mistake. He's dropped to 2nd now, Marcello. Caliber's actually under pressure tonight, and Caliber not really in this scenario before that we've seen him. We run on board though with Superhero just in behind him in 6th position. Caliber in 5th, runs out wide slightly. Superhero will try and look down in towards turn 1, possibly for the move. They're trying to use up any overtake mode that he's got left. But remember, these guys have got to make a mandatory pit stop. Superhero, in fact, sets a new fastest lap of the race. You can pick up the points, of course, for the fastest lap of the race in any race here in SRS. The Superhero ran wide there onto the yellow curb on the outside. Could have picked up a 5-10 penalty, but now within the slipstream, you're getting the bird's eye view here from Superhero. We're now right on board with 3rd person Cam. Dudley, I think, had a penalty in 2nd, and Superhero dives it down the inside of Caliber. Fair play to them. These guys raced really well back in the day in TFRLP League, and again, Superhero down the inside line. I think Caliber gave him the room to pull off that move. There was a little bit of contact. I don't think Caliber would have liked that, but Superhero was through anyway, so he's into 5th.
One good move for Superhero, but look at the big difference between the overtake methods of Superhero and Caliber. Superhero's already down to half of his overtake, and we're not even a 3rd of the way through the race, but Caliber really managing the overtake now. And really, you kind of want to be right there. You only use 75% of the overtake, but man, it's just going to be very close as we keep our eyes on this field, which is the top 5, and just really spread out and just got the way, with the exception of Caliber and Superhero, who are just, man, they're really trying to be as feisty as they can with each other, trying to use a little more overtake to stay within that draft. But the top 5 just really kind of even out the playing field a little bit as Hairraiser now gets to 2nd group of Hairraiser, Bar, and C-Mech. who are just really kind of doing their own thing right now in the back of the pack right now. Trollhead and Olive now, and Gamer Coxie now bringing up the rear of the field now. And look at this right now, Dudley and Marcello Dudley thinking about making a move as Marcello, I think, having to serve a little bit of a penalty. Dudley really making probably a massive mistake unless Marcello used a lot of that overtake now. And I think Dudley's now starting to feel the pressure from using a lot of that overtake early on in this race.
Caliber right on the back of Superhero, that's who I was on board with, running down in towards turn 3, now in towards turn 4. Caliber on the back of Superhero, just shoved him out wide slightly, a little bit of contact on the rear end, but Caliber doing well just to stay in behind him, doesn't want to go for the move. Superhero got caught out wide there, nearly out onto the marbles he goes, as Caliber now is on the back of him and trying to hunt him down. Doug Ballival, by the way, 1.5 seconds out in front. Dudley just looks like he's making a couple of mistakes. He's picked up another 5-10 penalty out on track, and these 5-10 penalties are really going to come back to bite him, because Doug at the minute is beginning to pull away. 1.6 seconds, Dudley in second, Marcello in third, Shadow in fourth, Superhero in fifth, Caliber in sixth. And of course these guys have got to make a mandatory pit stop to the end of the race. Doug leading now 1.8 seconds, as now Dudley has actually used up his penalty down in towards turn 1, and Marcello tries to go around the outside, and there's more contact between them both. Dudley shouldn't have really served up that penalty there. Shadow's got a 5-10 penalty in behind him as well, but now Dudley is going to try and come back at Marcello. Marcello defends the inside line. Dudley has to be forced around the outside line, but he's very, very late on the brakes. Can he do it? Clean around the outside. Just about. It's still side by side between them both. We take it from board with Shadow, and Shadow's going to get a great run. He could pick a double toe. Running down in towards turn 4. Dudley and Marcello. Marcello's on the inside line. Dudley on the outside line. The Italian tries to go down the inside of the American. Can he try and get the move done? Dudley's still around the outside, and it's still side by side, but the favour of the track is going to favour Marcello on the outside line. Dudley is still there, though, on the inside line. We're still on board with Shadow. Shadow's right on the back of these two. Marcello is round the outside, though, through turn 6. A brilliant battle. Brings Shadow and Superhero into play. Caliber's dropped off as well, but Doug leading the way. Marcello in second. All of this battling is letting Doug absolutely steal away out in front.
Marcello, one of the most aggressive drivers in the SRS paddock, and he can use that aggression to his advantage, just really setting the pace and really getting by on some very, very interesting maneuvers, especially going on the outside, and especially if you leave that door open just a little bit, he will shoot for that gap. So it's like, you got to keep an eye out for it. But Marcello, man, what a quick driver he is.
Superhero nearly ran into the back of Shadow there as well, and now he's actually pressurising Shadow up the hill in towards turn 3. Dudley could try and have a comeback here at Marcello, but Shadow on the inside line. Now goes Superhero, tries to dive it down late on the brakes though, Shadow, and Shadow keeps the position. Oh my goodness me, Marcello and Dudley nearly having synchronous spins coming out of turn 3. Still 2.9 seconds the gap between Doug and Marcello, but now Dudley is going to try and look to the inside line. He's now forced to the outside line by Marcello, who will defend hard, and Marcello really good in defending his honour and his driving out on track, and he's in second position, really driving that to great effect. Dudley in third, Shadow in fourth, Superhero in fifth. Caliber, I'm really surprised actually, he's not really catching these guys and not showing an impact here tonight so far. Maybe he's holding back for the sprint race where he's going to absolutely dominate. But speaking of domination, Doug leads the way, 3.1 seconds. Marcello there in second, Dudley in third, Shadow in fourth, Superhero in fifth, Caliber sixth, Hair Racer seventh, Bar in eighth, Petrolhead has got past C-Mech for ninth, Gamer Coxie down in 11th, Olive struggling there in 12th, but the ball's still going on as Superhero's in.
Superhero into the pits for that mandatory pit stop, so he's going to make it early, and I think he's going to try the undercut here to see if that's going to get him a little bit of clean air. Now remember, this pit lane delta, very, very long, especially here at the Red Bull Ring, so he's going to hope that by getting some clean air, he's going to hope that the guys ahead will fight it out a little bit harder, which is the case right about here is Shadow and Marcello and Dudley now. Shadow actually getting up back into third place, so a good move for Shadow, who has barely even used any of his overtakes. So really Shadow is going to be looking to get very, very strong here later in this race. And I think because of the fact that these guys were fighting each other up so hard that it was allowing Doug Barrow to get away, but now things are a little bit more calmed down now. It's going to allow these guys to really catch back up on the Doug Barrow.
Bars on the back of Hair Racer running down in towards turn 4 as well. Tries to look and gets the switch back. Really struggling, I've got to say, Bar here tonight. He's lost time, actually, compared to gaining time in regards to Hair Racer just in front of him. Hair Racer in 6th, Bar in 7th, Petrolhead in 8th, Z-Mech in 9th. Superhero, by the way, came out ahead of Olive. He is 24.8 seconds off the lead of this race. Doug not coming into the pit this lap. Marcello is not. Shadow is not. And Dudley's not either. Caliber not either as well. As now Dudley right on the back of Shadow, running up the hill in towards turn 1. Doug leading the way. The Italian of Marcello in 2nd, Shadow in 3rd, Dudley in 4th, and now the American will look as Hair Racer is into the pit lane from 7th position, so he is in just ahead of Bar, and now Dudley right on the back of Shadow. He ran very wide, and he ran too wide because he picked up a 5/10 penalty. Out on track, but you can serve up in towards turn 3, of course, and he is going to decide to do that, and he's still on the back of Shadow coming out of turn 3.
Doug Barrows setting the fastest lap of the race with a 1:19.235, so a good lap for the old-timer indeed. And he's still showing that, hey, I may be an old-timer, but still got it in me. So really controlling the pace here in that Toyota, the number 13 here, is absolutely not even really being challenged here. So Marcello and Shadow have got to kind of work with each other here a little bit. They really want to get back into this. Caliber now really clawing his way back up along behind Dudley, so he's not just out of this as of yet. But remember, a lot of these top guys are still going to make that pit stop, and I think just we come to the halfway point now, I think we're going to be seeing a little bit of people start diving their way into the pits. Doug Barrow amongst them as well, really going to be setting the paces. Marcello, Shadow, Dudley all go up, but Caliber as well, also going to come in for that early pit stop as well, try and undercut the field a little bit as well. So this is going to be a very close. Dudley now actually serving his penalties, so that's going to cost him a little bit of time as Marcello and Shadow. Marcello's got a 1-second penalty, so that's not good news for him. So he might be taking the track limits a little bit too harshly. And we've got a lot of these cars now going in for the early pit stop. And I'm kind of wondering if this is going to benefit Superhero, which I think it will, if not just losing out a little bit. So I'm kind of wondering if he gained a little bit of time right there. We will find out.
Side by side with Caliber, I think. There he is. There is Superhero right on the back of him, and now Caliber has actually got ahead. So Superhero was being cost with that early pit stop, and now Caliber uses the overtake mode up to good effect, and now Superhero is with a 5/10 penalty as well. Looks to the outside line on the German. These two go miles back, and he tries to go all the way around the outside while serving up the penalty. Caliber is under pressure though, and now Superhero is going to try and come at him down the hill. He's got to consume that overtake mode up out on track because he's got hardly anything left. Caliber's got more than half of it left. So Superhero now on the back of Caliber, and he stays in 7th, and Superhero stays in 8th for now. Caliber runs out wide slightly. Superhero still on the back, 2.5 tenths of a second separating for 7th and 8th. Further up the field, Marcello, Shadow staying out, Dudley in.
That's very interesting to find out as we get the top 3 now. Dudley going to come in a little bit early. Shadow and Marcello really going to try and stretch out these old super soft tires to get themselves better, fresh super soft for the latter half of this race. And if I were Superhero right now, I would say play Chase the Bunny. If Caliber is the faster driver in that Super Formula machine, really stay behind him. You never know. It could get you some very valuable points. It's now a Superhero now up into 5th place, I should say.
Bar trying to go around the outside of Petrolhead at turn 9. Goodness me, he tried to go around the outside, didn't quite pull it off. Petrolhead stays currently in 8th position.
Yeah, we're looking through the field right now as
Harris is into the back of him! Harris is into the back of Bar! Not sure if that car was actually stopping for Hair Racer, but Hair Racer into the back of Bar, lets him go, and now Hair Racer is going to be under pressure from C-Mech in behind as well. Marcello still going out in front, Shadow in 2nd. Doug has came into the pit lane though, and he's now he's 3.3 seconds ahead of Caliber, which is a very good advantage to have. Superhero trying to be the Superhero out on track to go and try and get past Caliber. That was a really appalling pun, I know. Caliber in 4th, Superhero in 5th. Shadow though is in, but Marcello is actually in. Shadow stays out.
Marcello coming into the pit lane, so they're not going to pit at the same time. So they're going to hopefully pray that the one car in at a time, the Mercedes strategy, will pay out for them, which will be very interesting. Shadow with that 6/10 penalty, which he will have to serve up. Marcello now into the pit lane. Caliber really benefiting from a lot of this. Is Dudley losing a lot of time, and Marcello coming out of the pits now, but I think is Caliber gonna beat him out
easily.
of the pits? easily out of the pit lane, but...
No, actually, that's Doug. Sorry, he's ahead of him. Marcello's ahead of Caliber.
That's very interesting.
I thought that was Caliber. It was Doug.
That's very interesting, because the cars kind of look alike if you think about it in a way. Let's see here. Marcello got slightly a bit more overtake than Caliber's, but Caliber using that overtake now to try and stay within that grappling zone of Marcello. And Superhero is completely out. The Superhero is completely out of overtake, so he's got to hang on and pray that he stays within that slipstream zone of Caliber and Marcello.
Oh, Marcello's on the line!
He's off!
Just about kept it going. Goodness me, Caliber now into third, Superhero in fourth, and that's exactly what Superhero would have wanted. A mistake like that for Marcello does not come that often, and Marcello runs into the gravel coming through turn 5 out of turn 6, and now Marcello down into 5th. He's got Dudley 1.5 seconds behind him. Shadow, though, into the pit lane from the lead of the race. It seems to me, to be honest, that the overcut might be working, and it's going to be fascinating to see where Shadow comes out in this. I think he's going to come out directly ahead of Marcello, possibly.
Yeah, especially with a mistake like that on your outlap with Marcello.
In fact,
and it's going to be close. Doug Farrell gets on by, but will he beat out Caliber? He's still got a lot of overtakes to play with.
It's going to be side by side. It's going to be side by side. Superhero and Shadow. Oh, Shadow nearly makes contact. Superhero gets a 5-10 penalty, I think, running out wide, but now Superhero right on the back of Caliber. Tries to look to the inside line. He's got a penalty. He serves it up just in front of Shadow. Marcello's 1.8 seconds off. He had a penalty as well. Caliber now second. Doug, though, 2.2 seconds ahead. I have a feeling, though, Doug's just made a mistake because that gap is dropping.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it, but we will keep an eye out for timing and scoring. So let's see if that last lap or that last sector really caught up. Yeah, now it's down to 2 seconds, so I'm not sure if Doug did make that mistake. But what I'm going to be concerned with is Shadow, who's got a lot of overtake. Shadow has a lot of overtake. He's got like 90-80% of overtake, while Superhero still has none. So this is going to be, I think, a very easy overtake for Shadow on Superhero and Caliber, who we didn't think was going to be up in this running, but look at him, sitting nice and pretty in second place with a fastest lap of an 18.517, and he might have a chance to get back in this. He goes a little bit wide, but that allows Superheroes to catch him up, and I think that with that penalty, it most certainly will indeed. So, Shadow now, not that far off. He's got to still keep it within. Shadow actually going wide, and that's going to clearly give him a 5/10 penalty. So, we're going to see what happens here. Yep, easily like that. 5/10 penalty.
Superhero.
Also, Marcello with a 5/10 penalty. Man, penalty.
Superhero's on the back of Caliber. Tries to look to the inside line. Not quite. Caliber stays second. There's yellow flags just ahead of him out on track. I think that might be Olive, who's about to get lapped. And actually, Olive's getting out of the way, which is good to see. Doug leading the way down the hill and towards turn 4. Caliber in second. Superhero in third. Shadow in fourth. Marcello in fifth. Marcello still got an outside chance. So is Dudley. He's only 5.8 seconds off. But if all of these guys begin to battle out on track, it could mean that Doug could be under a lot of pressure later on in this race. Doug has got under 50% of that overtake mode up left. Caliber's got even less than that. He's just picked up a 5/10 penalty. Superhero's got nothing. Shadow in the most promising position out of the top 4 currently. Marcello's got over 50% as well. Dudley's got under 50%. But Doug, 1.1 seconds. Can he keep going out in front at 8.5 minutes to go? I make that, what, 6 laps?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty close here. Doug Barrow's still got a lot of overtake. You can see the lights on the top of the hood, the roof scoop right there. Doug Barrow with that green light indicating that he's still got a decent amount of overtake still, yeah. And then as soon as you see that light flash, that means they are using that overtake. But look at Caliber. You can see that over the top of his driver helmet, it's going to show red. That means he's very low on that overtake. But Superhero, as you can see, no light at all. So that means he's completely out of overtake. But he's 2/10 up on Caliber's fastest lap. So keep in mind that Doug Barrow might be starting to feel a little bit pressured here, as Caliber now, I think, still has a little bit of overtake in that car. But keep in mind, we still got about less than 8 minutes to go. Anything can happen in these Super Formula World Challenge races.
Yeah, only 3%, basically, I would say, that Caliber has got. Doug has got, I would say, about 40% worth of overtake mode up to use up, but they've got to be consumed in the right way. Doug, I think, has consumed up enough to try and defend from Caliber. I think there's no doubt about that. 6.5 tenths, now 7.5 tenths, because Caliber's just made a slight mistake. Caliber now uses up the rest of his overtake mode. That's it, kaput. He is now gone. No overtake mode for him, and now Superhero is in a promising position. Still on the back of him. He runs out wide, coming through turn 9. Runs out even wider, coming through turn 10. Might be a 5/10, might be a second penalty coming his way, but it's a 5/10 penalty for Superhero. In the meantime, Petrolhead and Bar are going side by side up the hill. Petrolhead and Bar. Bar on the outside line, Petrolhead on the inside line. No quarters given. Bar's around the outside through turn 9. Brilliant stuff. He is soon he's into 7th. But it's not over.
Good. It's completely not over yet, as Shadow now really starting to be aggressive with the overtake right now. 5 tenths up in just this first sector alone, so you can just tell he's really clawing his way back up. Oh, Bar and Patrolhead, these two have had a long history with each other, and they're still going at it in the back of the pack. You know, Shadow makes a move on to 3rd place over Superhero, so that's one position done for Shadow to try and take the win in this feature race.
Caliber's on the back of Doug for the lead of the race as well. How on earth has he came alive in this second half of the race? Caliber was sitting 6th position before these safety car pit stops before these pit stops out on track. And now Doug is really feeling the pressure. The German in behind, we know he's quick, but we didn't think he'd be this quick with no overtake mode. And now he's right on the back of Doug, running in towards turn 9 once again. We've got under 6 minutes to go. Doug leading the way, Caliber 2nd, Shadow in 3rd, Superhero 4th, Marcello in 5th, Dudley in 6th. 3.4 seconds cover the top 5, 1.9 seconds cover the top 4. Superhero has just picked up a penalty. Now Caliber on the back of Doug. No quarters given between these two as they run up in towards turn 1. They'll run wide there from Doug. Caliber's going to try and stick within the slipstream. Surely Doug has got to consume up that overtake mode up to have a last lap gasp to try and break away from Caliber. Caliber, though, knowing him, he's going to be up for this.
Shadow with a fastest lap of a 1:17.475. Wow. So Shadow using that overtake now later in this race, but people are basically struggling to even get up to regular pace. But Shadow, look at him. He's got 5 minutes and half a tank of overtake, so he is clearly looking for a feature race win here today at Red Bull Ring.
He is indeed, but Doug defending absolutely brilliantly out on track. It's 2.5 tenths of a second, now 2 tenths of a second as we now come through turn 6 once again. However, Isabella got through on Bar, I believe, and Bar actually has made contact. Bar is round. Petrolhead, I think, is round as well. So Petrolhead and Bar have came together. That means C-Mech, that means Gamer Coxie now up into 8th position as well, looking for their best results of the season. But it's now really beginning to heat up. Doug leading the way, Caliber in 2nd, Shadow in 3rd, 8 tenths of a second, covering the top 3 out on track. Superhero's not out of this either. Marcello not out of this. He's got a lot of overtake mode up to still use up. Shadow's got less than 50% to use up. Caliber on the back of Doug. 4 minutes to go as Doug is wide coming through turn 1. Nearly unlucky for some. Car number 13. Caliber in 2nd though. But look at Shadow. Shadow's going to look to the outside line. He's actually going to go up the inside line of both of them. Doug now through the middle. It's 3 wide running up in towards turn 3. Battle of the late breakers running up into the braking zone. And Shadow just about comes out on top. He's through and he's into the lead of the race. Doug though is not going to give this up without a fight. Running down in towards turn 4. Doug uses up the last remains of his overtake mode. Shadow is on the outside line. Doug on the inside line. It could get quite hairy, but Shadow is through. Absolutely sensational stuff. If you thought race 1 in Suzuka was good, Shadow has just pulled off possibly the move of the season already. Shadow is through down the inside line. That took bravery. It took the brave man through down the inside. The gap's appeared. He's through and he's into the lead.
Yeah, what a brave move by Shadow right there. It's kind of the most unorthodox overtake because of that ghosting system that the game unfortunately incorporates. But I think had that ghosting not occurred, there definitely would have been some form of accident, to say the least. But Shadow, of course, with about 3 minutes to go, pops himself and finds himself in the lead of this race. Doug Barrow now completely out of overtake, but Shadow has got literally a quarter of a tank left. He can literally do the most of this final 2 laps to 3 laps on overtake. So he's just really showing his prowess now. And Superboy not entirely out of this running as well as Marcello. Yeah, Superhero is not entirely out of this as well, but he's got 1.6 seconds. He's got too many penalties. I'm losing it. I'm losing
Shadow!
it. Doug Barrow!
Doug, PGA 2 on the front. Oh, that's unbelievable. The ghosting system fails, and Caliber now left in the lead of the race. Shadow, so unfortunate. Doug has spun round. That's probably one of the most unfortunate accidents you could have. Superhero now trying to go around the outside of Shadow. This is brave, this is bold, but Shadow is through and he's into second. And he says, no, my God, you're not coming through. Caliber leads the way, Shadow in second, and that, I'm afraid, was inevitable as Marcello down the inside of Superhero gets P3.
Man, what crazy turns of events. As Superboy, I don't think they're still done fighting just yet. This is going to be an absolutely electric finish, to say the least. Caliber, of course, just a little bit struggling at the end of this, but with just the on-track actions and mayhem that have happened in this, like, the dwindling minutes of this race. We're still going to have about 2 more laps to go, and I think
Doug's stopped on the straight. Oh, he's left the session.
He's left the session. I think that means he might have retired the car.
Oh, down the inside on Marcello tries to get the move done. We'll focus on the action. That's what out on track currently. We'll speak about Doug, I'm sure, after the race. Caliber leading the way, though. Shadow in second. Superhero, no overtake but up left. And he's got Marcello with about 10% of that left. And now tries to look to the inside line. What a move this is from Superhero if he can pull it off. Down the inside line. Really bold, really brave. But now Marcello gets the run out. And now Side Max against the pink car team. And he has to filter in. And he has to follow through. And Marcello's back through and he's into P3. But Superhero tries, he might, just about failed, or has he? Down the inside line and towards turn 4, tries to get the move done, and he has got the move done, just about, or has he? Because Marcello's now using up the rest of his overtake mode up to get past. He is through, and he's back into P3. Superhero tries to go around the outside, coming through turn 6, he's still going to be there through the outside of turn 7 and 8, and Superhero tries to go around the outside. Can he get the move done? We're about to approach the final lap of the race. Superhero, how on earth he battled that back? He's into the 3rd position.
That is one of the most crazy things I've probably ever seen Superhero do. Coming to the final lap now with Caliber, who is literally running on fumes right now, and Shadow is out of overtake as well. I don't even know how Caliber has even won this race. Shadow and Marcello are still fighting it out for the final spot on the podium like it's musical chairs down towards the 3rd corner. This is absolutely crazy stuff. Marcello's still not done. He's still got overtaken the system. Superhero's now completely running on fumes right now. Can he defend it the inside? Oh, that's
Shadow's going to have Caliber down in towards turn 4 perhaps. He's now within the slipstream, and now Caliber could actually lose this. Shadow is right on the back. Hair raiser Coxie, by the way, across the line for 6th and 7th. Now he tries to lunge it down the inside line. Doesn't commit it late on the brakes, but Caliber has only got half a lap to go. Can he fend off Shadow, who has been a thorn in his side this race? The German against the Dutchman, out on track, now coming through turn 6 once again. Little bit of lag coming from Shadow, just lets Caliber get away, but he's crucially within that slipstream. They've got no overtake mode up left, and Caliber just about leading up the hill and towards turn 9 and 10. What a crazy race this has been here in Red Bull Ring for round 3 of the championship, essentially race 3, round 2 of the championship for the feature race. Caliber rounding the final corner, fortunate as he might. Shadow might get him to the line, it could be a photo finish. Caliber across the line, a 10th and a half him in the end. Shadow, if that straight was longer, he would have got him. Marcello across the line in 3rd, Superhero won 4th, and Dudley has finished in 5th position. Caliber, really unlucky, I think, with that ghosting system, but it comes into play, and Caliber has won. Shadow's in 2nd, and Marcello's in 3rd.
You got to give a lot of credit to Doug Barrow, who basically controlled that race from the very beginning, and I think, unfortunately, I want to say that pit strategy might have costed him, but Doug Barrow, I think, did what he could to try and take that race win, but very, very unfortunate for Doug Barrow to fall completely short in the end of that race, unfortunately.
Doug Barrow having some very choice words within the Discord as well. Shadow ramming down the straight, overtaking using Ghost to F him up, basically. Glitched him out the game after that point as well, so that's really unfortunate. We have got a 10-minute break. Trevor, can you do us a favour? Get the top 3 in?
I will definitely do so. What a crazy, crazy race that was, and we still even got ourselves a feature, or not a feature, a sprint race. Man, this is great. What an absolutely crazy, crazy race that was. I'm gonna have to see if I have all of these drivers added.
Tice has just put up a thing, by the way, within the lobby. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but Tice has put up a something saying everyone, please do not overtake when ghosted. That is why, clearly feeling, obviously, that the decision was made from that race that, obviously, those guys have, obviously been ghosted, failed by the ghosting system, basically. Dudley's gone to eat as well, so hopefully we'll get him back in time for the race. Doug has rejoined the session as well, which is good to see. Good to see him coming back out. Palmer is going to put something in the chat, I know, within Discord. Petrolhead's probably going for a smoke. We've got to catch our breath. We're going to get the top 3 in.
Yeah, I was coming in thinking it was like, okay, this is going to be pretty abnormal, but nope, that completely took me off guard. So clearly, I've got some catching up to do from Suzuka, of course. But wow, wowza! And James, I imagine you're going to be in the thick of it coming next week when I have an off week from racing, and I'm going to be on top for commentary, I bet.
You will be, and now I'm a bit pessimistic about how I'm going to do, to be honest, out on track. If it's anything like my last foray into a league, then God knows I've got absolutely no chance out on track. But you never actually know what might happen out on track. We are now getting the top 3 in, and hopefully all 3 of them are going to be ready to speak. I can see Caliber is typing there within the chat, so hopefully he'll be able to rejoin. If not, and if he hasn't got a mic, then fair play. We'll move on to our 2nd and 3rd place runners. But what a race that was for the feature race. Sprint race, of course, still to come. We are on a 10-minute break. He can't drive these cars, Caliber has said. A weird front axle. Never really stopped him winning the race, though, did it? Getting the excuses out early, I see. We'll go on to the man who finished, though, in 2nd position, Shadow, who really drove that race. A brilliant, brilliant performance from you. You must be really happy with that result. Yeah, P2. Yeah, P2, not obviously the result that you were expecting, but just talk us through that incident, because it seems to me, certainly from our end here in the commentary box, looks like the ghosting system on GT Sport just failed in terms of you and Doug. Yep. Too bad for Doug. Certainly, it's good to see him back, though, within the lobby. But 2nd place for you out on track must be a really good result for the team as well inside, Max. I saw that from the beginning, where you were bump drafting each other up the hill and towards turn 3, and you nearly put Marcello offline at one point, I believe, or it was vice versa out on track. Trevor, any questions?
Yeah, I do. First of all, Shadow, it's good to meet you finally in one of these interviews for the SRS series. So, but I wanted to ask. You were playing it pretty conservatively at the beginning of the race regarding the overtake system, while a lot of people were using their overtake pretty early. Do you think that was part of the reason why it got you a well-earned and well-deserved 2nd place here today? Yeah, very good race and run for you, Shadow. I think, unfortunately, Bar was just saying he unfortunately cannot hear you on the stream, so I guess we'll get that sorted out for next time by. But a good day for you, Shadow, and the number 88 Side Max Motorworks machine, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, of course, a good day for you, Shadow, in that Super Formula car. We'll move on to our man in third place, Marcello. Of course, Marcello having a little bit of a tough time in the number 5 Cymax machine. But Marcello, man, using your expertise and your aggression to your advantage and gets you a well-earned third place. Tell us about the race today, Marcello.
First of all, I hope that everyone can hear me. But anyway, I think that my pace was pretty decent.
Yeah.
I think I was definitely more confident than the last race in Suzuka. I had more pace, and but I think that I could have definitely fought for the win with Shadow and Caliper. I don't know if you caught that on stream, but on my outlap, I went off into turn 4, which lost me the position on Caliper and Superhero. So. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but, it's still good to get some points home.
Yeah, and that actually was going to be my next point to ask you. What was the initial gut reaction when you, really, really put it off at that one corner? Almost race ending, to say the least, but you somehow really held on and was able to get back for that third place position. So what was the initial reaction of having that really, really Code Brown moment in that one portion of the outlap?
I mean, in that moment, I was just focusing on trying to get the car back on track, and obviously then the couple of laps after that were obviously a bit difficult because I felt like I threw away a potential win, but I mean, nevertheless, I still managed to overtake Superhero, and it's a shame with the ghosting system because I ghosted through him, and then I saw him going off into turn 3, and I mean, it's a shame because we could have had a fight going down to the finishing line probably. So yeah.
Well, you did what you could, and of course, getting you a P3 is well deserved, to say the least. I'm going to give the microphone back to James unless he's got any questions for you, Marcello.
Yeah, Marcello, third place for you, obviously out on track. It really fills up with Shadow's second place as well. Must be good for the team for Sidemax.
Yeah.
Not much to say, I guess. Getting some inspiration from the Iceman of the group, Kimi Räikkönen, or Tice, as we like to call it. I can imagine he's tuning into the stream. And I'm looking at Caliber, and he's already going straight away out for practice for the sprint. So I imagine he's going to save the racing for the talking. So I guess we'll have a word with him if he pulls out another podium of some sorts for the second race. But good day for you guys. Shadow and Marcello will let you guys get back to your respective parties and for the races. So congratulations to you guys, and congratulations to all our race finishers for the feature race. But if you're still watching this, we definitely have another sprint race to go. And James, the fun's not over yet, isn't it?
The fun is definitely not over, and hopefully it's going to be fantastic to see out on track how all of this racing is really going to unfold. We should be getting the guys out on track shortly. I know Dudley is eating at the minute. We can hold on from him if needs be. He is eating, Tice, if you are tuning into the stream. Superhero as well, typing away. But hopefully it is going to be fantastic to see how all of this action is going to unfold. And just a reminder of the race results from race 1, the feature race. Caliber out on top, Shadow second, Marcello in third, Superhero in fourth, Dudley in fifth, Hellraiser sixth, Gamer Coxie 7th, Bar in 8th, C-Mech in 9th, Petrolhead in 10th, Olive in 11th, Doug obviously would have been 12th if he finished, and then in 13th would have been Tap. He had a bit of a disconnect, I think, from Tap, reading him in the Discord. So unfortunate for Canadian, but hopefully he'll be back next week to race. But remember, top 8, of course, are reversed, so that means Bar, probably for the first time in ages, is on pole position. Gamer Coxie is second, Hellraiser third, Dudley, Superhero, Marcello, Shadow, and then Caliber. Caliber starting, fun fact, from the same position as he won from the feature race.
That's very interesting to point out, as well as Caliber, of course, trying to get the early practice in because, of course, this being a sprint race, there's no mandatory pit stop, of course, so it's going to be interesting to see how this all pans on out. James, any bits of predictions going into this sprint race? Of course, going to be like some up and down upcomers, hopefully a surprise of the podium, or are we expecting Caliber to charge from 8th place where we started in the feature race back into another race win here for the sprint?
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating, I think. And in terms of a prediction, I really don't have any sort of prediction for this sprint race. If it's anything to go by from Suzuka, we're going to see quite a mixed-up grid, and we're going to see possibly the top guys come to the fore. Caliber as well, saying he's got problems turning the car, and that's why he had a contact possibly with Superhero in that race. But Caliber, hopefully, going to be right on top of things here tonight. I think he might win this, actually. Second, I would go for Superhero. Very, very strong in the race was Superhero. And then in third position, I'm going to go for Marcello. And if that top three comes off, then goodness me, you're in for an absolute treat, because it might be the first prediction I've got right in a while.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting podium. I'm actually going to throw out some podium predictions myself in addition to yours as well. I think I'm gonna be a little bit risky with my podium here. I'm gonna say that Caliber is gonna win the feature race because he's a very, very talented driver in that Speed Dude Motorsports number 56 Formula Honda. And I'm gonna throw out Dudley, the American, in second place for the podium, because I feel like he has shown great pace in that number 12 Super Formula. If he can keep his nose clean here and really use that pace and expertise to task, I think he can get himself a very well-earned second place. And as for third place, I'm going to give it to Doug Barrow. He's shown great pace in the feature race today, and of course, I feel like with him starting last, if he can keep his nose clean and be able to sight his way through the field, and I'm thinking if he can get either last or third, what a well-deserved podium would it be for him after a really up-and-down first feature race of the day. But man, anything can happen in this league, and we have seen things that have probably turned into miracles. So I'm looking forward to this sprint race here today, James, and I think we're looking to have another wild one here today.
And we're about to get going for it right on time. We're about to get going for the sprint race here. 20 minutes worth of action, of course. No 10-minute qualifying, all based off reverse grid racing. And we're about to take you through the order once again for round 2 of the championship. Race 4 of the season in total. 18 races in total as we go to 9 tracks around the world. And out on top is Bar, Gamer Coxie, Hairraiser, Dudley, Superhero, Marcello, Shadow Caliber, C-Mech, Petrolhead, Olive and Doug, starting from right down the back of the field. Bar will be helping to try and get a good result. The 5 red lights in the gantry are about to go out once again. 20 minutes worth of racing, no mandatory pit stop, and we're about to get underway any second now. And if the lights out, away we go. Great stop by Dudley. Dudley gets a tremendous start. Tries to go down the inside line. Could he get the lead running down in towards turn 1? Bar's on the outside line. A little bit of a pinch point. Gamer Coxie makes contact with Hairraiser slightly. They're all wide through turn 1. Marcello's had a great start as well. He's up into 4th. But look at Dudley. He's through and he's into the lead of the race. The 2 Pink Panthers are going side by side. Marcello now tries to go around the outside. Superhero blocks that off. They're 2 by 2 like Noah's Ark. They go in towards turn 1. We've lost a car already. I think Petrolhead had spun out of turn 1. Not sure if there was contact. Speaking of contact, Bar went wide. Superhero went wide as well. Dudley leads the way down the hill over the fence.
Doug's again! Doug's around again! Same spot on the first lap. You cannot make this up! What is going on? I cannot believe that.
3 wide down and towards 7-4. Shadow's got both of them. Bar forced into the gravel. Gamer Coxie in the wall as well. And Bar just about forced out. Going on. Doug really complaining there as well. Dudley leading the way. Superhero in second. Marcello in third. Any investigations, of course, get them into the stewards. I'll save the replay and share it after this. But Dudley leads the way for the first time. Superhero in second. Marcello third. Shadow in fourth. Olive in fifth. Olive's up to 5th position from 11th on the grid. Gamer Coxie in 6th. Hairraiser 7th. Caliber in 8th position already in this sprint race.
Yeah, I think Dudley actually perfectly timed that start. Really, I thought he jumped it, but then as soon as everyone got going and he didn't slow down after jumping that, I think he timed it very well to perfection. The Superhero, very aggressive on the number 12.
On the outside!
Man, side by side, going up to
look at the 2 side max boys.
Second lap. Shadow and Marcello, they're already up in the top spots, but they are going to make it
3 wide.
So difficult. They're going to make it so. Oh, and I think that's Shadow into second place.
Pond on the Red Sea, tries to go through the middle. Superhero tries to go around the outside. Oh my God!
Is really not, man. This ghosting system is not nice to these drivers here. Caliber up into 5th place, so he's got a tall order in hand to try and get this back up into the top 4 of this race.
Superhero's on the inside for the lead.
Oh
my God!
Held him out there, and Marcello now. or Shadow now in the 88 or 68, my apologies, gonna really attack on Dudley, and this top 4 now is gonna be very aggressive.
Oh, Shadow's on it wide. Oh, Marcello and Shadow make side-by-side contact as well. Coming through 3 and 4, coming in P3 and 4, I should say. Dudley runs out wide. Superhero though leads the way. Dudley in second. Gotta be honest, driving standards have got to improve. It is a lot of aggressive racing out on track, and it's getting too aggressive, I think, for my liking.
That's kind of what you get a little bit from the Super Formula machines, as far as just, you know, it's arms out style of racing.
How's Caliber in 5th?
Caliber's just that good. He's that good.
He was 8th. He was miles behind these guys who were now battling for position. C-Mac is down the inside of Hair Razor. Game of Coxie through on Olive as well.
I've known Caliber for a good while, and then just don't keep your eyes off of him, because he is coming at an alarming rate. 8/10s! He's up on his own best lap of a 24.2, so Caliber really coming back into his own here against Shadow and Marcello, who are really bumped out.
Oh, it's contact!
To get back up.
Contact further down the field. I think Game of Coxie got involved as well. Doug, there's a 5-way battle for 8th going on. Bar leading this pack down the hill and towards turn number 4. Doug's into the back and Olive's into the back of Bar. And there's all sorts of carnage going on here. 3 wide coming out of turn 5 is going to be absolutely impossible. Doug, though, should get them both. Doug gets through around the outside. Olive's on the inside line. Guys, keep it clean. Doug ran the outside, holds it, but Oliver's through. Into 10th position he goes. Forceful moves out on track from these guys. Game of Coxie now down to the back of the field. Superhero leading the way. Dudley in second, Marcello in third. Shadow in fourth. Caliber in fifth. 2 seconds have in the top 5.
Yeah, Dudley now really playing aggressive here as he goes fastest with a 19.713, so he's really being aggressive here. Now you can be a bit more aggressive with this overtake here. Dudley really trying to close that gap to in front of Superhero. And of course, Superhero now defending to the inside. Dudley going to make a move onto the outside as Marcello now is coming with a full steam ahead. Superboy now on the inside.
Superboy, Superhero. God almighty, we don't want him being affiliated with our league. Superhero leads the way.
I keep mixing names up today, and it's so bad. Dudley now on the inside. Marcello going to put it down. Oh my goodness me! And big contact once again, and this is like Wreckfest in a way. As Dudley now and Marcello up into second place. So Superhero, who I thought was only going to lose that 1 spot to Dudley, ends up losing another one to Marcello with the number 5 soaring his way into second place. Shadow and Caliber, though, completely not out of the running. I think he's going to have to use a lot of expertise. Superhero, oh boy, this is going to be an absolutely feisty one going into the final corner here. God, I'm going to have to look back at this commentary and just imagine. Big Coppertine effect as Dudley pulls the slipstream away, forcing the guys to go along pit wall. Marcello now back into second still, but Superhero right up on his back bumper. And it looks like the BWT sponsor number 18 as he picks up a 5/10 penalty. Superhero still not gonna. Is he gonna make a move to the inside?
Oh, Shadow's late. Ooh. There's Ghosting inside. We don't want to end up like we did last race. Superhero still side by side with Marcello. To be fair, they've got away with it, which is good to see. Marcello stays second. Superhero third as contact for the downfield. I think C-Mech has just dropped down 2 positions there as well. Superhero's down the inside line of Marcello. Can he get the move done? No, he gets caught in the curb, and now that's caused a Constantine effect behind, with Shadow making the contact, and now Caliber looks to the inside line. Caliber has got the charisma and absolute legend out on track currently. Tries to force it down the inside line on Shadow. Can he try and get the move done? He's on the inside line and towards 7. Gets the move done. Caliber is through and he's into 4th position. Shadow might not be happy with that one. I see it though. Rubbinous Racing and clean move from Caliber.
I'm pretty sure Shadow, purposely he knew that position was going to be lost regardless. I think he just didn't want to make it too difficult for Caliber. So I think he went a little bit wide into those marbles. So yeah, I think he understood that, I'm not going to fight, but I think we're going to, if we want to keep in the mix for the podium, we've got to take it clean, take it a little bit conservatively. Marcello very much wide, Christ. And that's going to earn him another half of a second worth of penalties.
He's got a second there. He's got a second and a half. Goodness me, Dudley leads the way. Superhero in second, Marcello in third, Caliber looks to the inside line. Doesn't want to go for the move, though. Shadow in 5th. He serves up his penalty as well. Now Caliber on the back of Marcello. It's like Suzuka all over again between these two. This time for 3rd and 4th position running down the hill. Caliber's got the overtake mode out. Can he look to the outside line? He goes around the outside of Marcello. Marcello's ghosted on the inside line. But I tell you what, Caliber, this is brilliant stuff. He can pull it off. He's down on the inside line and he gets the move done. Caliber is through and he's into 3rd position. Marcello ghosted and that just forced Caliber through. And Caliber's through and he's into P3. Absolutely sensational stuff by the German.
If you're Marcello right now in this case, you're wondering, like, what do I gotta do to defend against a top-class driver in the hands of Caliber, who's now scything his way through the field, and now he's on the back bumper of Superhero, and soon to be Dudley, Dudley has also got a tenth of a second of penalty.
Made a mistake.
He slowed up to serve a bit of that penalty, and now he's going to stack up this entire top 3. Caliber now, and I think Superhero, Caliber now moving back behind Dudley. Superhero now going to make a move. And that ghosting system, we've got to be very careful with it. Man, these guys are running on absolute fumes right now with Dudley now compared to the inside. Caliber forcing Superhero a little bit wide just so he doesn't get into the back of Dudley, to say the least. Caliber now defending onto the inside with Superhero. Caliber's going to make the move down to the inside. He thought about it. Superhero now, they got to play carefully. Man, you've got to be very careful with this ghost system because you don't want to have a situation like Doug Barrow, which happened to him once, and it's going to really cost you.
Look at Marcello! Look at Marcello down the inside line! Can he get the move done? Caliber's late on the brakes, he forces them off onto the gravel nearly. Goodness me, Superhero ran the outside of him, and now Caliber and Superhero go side by side. We take this on board with Marcello's perspective. Superhero down the inside line though, he is through and he's into 2nd. Caliber in 3rd, Marcello in 4th. Marcello tries to go for a 2-way like Verstappen did last night in League of Europe when I covered League of Europe on Formula 1. Marcello though, right on the inside line. He's got a 5-10 penalty now. Dudley is getting away, but he serves up a penalty once again and brings Superhero back into slipstream range.
I think Dudley right now is just hoping that the guys behind him fight each other as hard as they are fighting. Now Dudley's going to pull him to the inside, now move back to try and break that slipstream, pulling each other closer to each other. Superboy, I think, got a bit of a penalty as well. I think Caliber, of course, if you're Caliber and you want to get up front to the top of the field, you want to hope that you guys don't fight each other too much.
Bar has, well, that's ghosting system again failing. Guys, listen to the bloody rules, man. Honestly, Bar 9th position, Petrolhead in 10th. Petrolhead served up his penalty in front. The ghosting system failed. Bar then got forced out wide. And now Petrolhead looking to the inside line, and he has to let him go. I think he probably just heard me on commentary say that. Bar in 9th, Petrolhead in 10th position, and let him go. Dudley, though, still leading Superhero 2nd, Caliber in 3rd.
Caliber now trying to make a move on Superhero. Superhero uses a little bit of overtake now. If I were Caliber right now, I'd sit back and just wait for the moment to strike. Of course, Caliber using a lot of that overtake. Look at the overtake levels between Superhero, Dudley, and Caliber. And Shadow has barely even used a slight amount of overtake. And, of course, he's saving it up for when the fuel is a lot less. So he's got a lot more nimble ability to use that overtake to his advantage. So Shadow doing the right thing, just sitting nice and pretty right now as he picks up a half second worth of penalties right now. And Shadow, and I think Marcello now, just having to sit back and wait for something to happen because you never know how explosive these events are going to be in these types of races.
Superhero on the back of Dudley. Dudley makes a slight mistake running out of turn 1 and actually gets onto the grass running up the hill. And now Superhero on the back of him, looking to try and get this move done. Caliber's not too far off either. Superhero though to the outside line. Dudley on the inside line. Both of them going to try and settle their penalty as much as possible. Caliber now looks to the inside line. Both of them. Again, the ghosting system nearly failed. And it's going to be 3 wide and Caliber's going to get the run. And there's more contact between Superhero and Dudley. This is really going to be careful from these guys. They've got to listen to the rules. Caliber looks to the inside line though. He's got no penalties. Down the inside line he goes. Superhero taps the back of Dudley. Nearly gets caught in the curb, does Caliber. But Caliber surely on the inside line might get this move done. He's now on the outside line. Dudley's on the inside line. 2 by 2 we go. Shadow's through and he's into 3rd position. He goes down the inside of Superhero. Forces him out wide slightly. Superhero's still there. Dudley, though, hangs on to the lead. Shadow through and he's into 3rd.
I don't even know how anybody even had a slight chance of going off the track. I thought someone was going to be binning it in the gravel trap where Alex Albon did here at the Austrian Grand Prix, if I'm not mistaken. Myself, Petrolhead, unfortunately, has retired from this sprint race.
Somebody else has.
Dudley now Dudley is playing very defensive right now. He knows that, of course, he's got to hope that the guys behind keep fighting each other to try and get those valuable points. Caliber now is going to give Dudley a real challenge here, the American versus the German now. And this is not over until the fat lady sings. So, Caliber now going to try and make a move to the outside, using a bit of that overtake now. He's nearly dry on that overtake. So
oh my god. Again, going for the move. I give up sometimes, honestly. Caliber on the outside line. Dudley's on the inside line. Dudley using up the last remains of his overtake run-up on the inside line. Caliber's used all of his hub, but he's going around the outside line. Again, the German and the American lean on each other. Driving standards tonight in the sprint race has been absolutely terrible, from my understanding. Dudley leads the way, though. Caliber in second. Again, Caliber forced out wide. Shadow third. Superhero in fourth. Marcello in fifth. Pretty much you can throw a blanket over the front five, but these guys have got to keep it clean. It's more like dodgems rather than super formulas at this stage.
Yeah, it's very, very crazy racing, to say the least. Of course, at this race, this is real life for R-Factor iRacing. Body panels and parts will be flying all over the track at the moment, so just kind of shows you how
Concertina!
Crazy. Oh, was that a bit
Shadow
of
falls out wide.
there? That's actually helped Shadow so much, and now over
he
the
ran out wide.
Oh,
I thought he was going to pick up a 5-10
having...
penalty, but no, Caliber's on the outside line, tries to look to the outside of turn one. Superhero's gone diving in on Shadow, forces Caliber out wide. If Caliber gets a penalty for that, he needs to get it removed. Dudley leads the way, Shadow now into second, Superhero's all the way down into fifth position now. Pretty much you can throw a blanket. Look at this running up the hill, 3 wide, running up the hill in towards turn 3. This is getting very, 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 very aggressive out on track. Dudley still leads the way. Caliber in second, Marcello third, Superhero in fourth, Shadow in fifth position. Honestly, these guys have got to be treating each other with a lot more respect out on track, because honestly, these stewards, I know them. Palmer, definitely, is going to be cracking down. Superhero's into the back of Caliber, I think. Forces that wide, and that is contact. That, I'm afraid, was absolutely inevitable. Absolutely stupid driving from Superhero. Dudley still leads the way. Superhero in second. Honestly, something like that deserves to be looked at. I'm sorry, that was just stupid.
Yeah, the race report is going to be very, very busy tonight. The stewards are going to have a long night ahead of them to get this race report submitted, even with the proper penalties. I think if the one person that does deserve to win this race is definitely got to be Dudley. He's had to withstand a lot of argy-bargy from behind to really try and hold off and properly win this race. Superhero going to be a very, very fired up man in the cockpit of that 18. Shadow now makes the move, or try to fake out a move out of Superhero with Shadow and Marcello. And I think Shadow and Marcello are going to be getting themselves a little bit blessed at the moment if they are able to make a move work, to say the least. Doug Barrow now up into 5th place. What a recovery he's had after spinning out early in this race. What a well-earned recovery. And to be fair, he may be getting 5th place if there's a bit of a penalty. Superhero now, I think, gonna be on the receiving end of a lot of penalties. That was a really big set of Copertina effects, and I think eventually, like you said, James, it was going to be inevitable for one of those drivers to be going around, and unfortunately, it was one of the STM cars. Oh, and someone's gone around, and that's Hairraiser in the 69 that has gone around. Same place where Doug has gone around.
Well, he had the 69 with the wall there rather than another car, but Hairraiser in 9th, Olive in 10th position. The less we say about that, the better. Dudley now has broken, actually, the overtake slipstream. 1.2 seconds the gap, 1.1 now. Shadow in second, Marcello in third, Superhero in fourth. Superhero now letting through both of the side max boys, but he could try and ride on board with this and try and catch back up with 4 minutes to go in this race. I was going to say, just before you mentioned it, Doug in 5th position. He was spun round coming through turn 3. He was right at the back of the field. Comes to show how crazy this race has actually been. He's up in the 5th position. If anybody deserves driver of the day, it's surely got to be him.
Surely indeed, of course. He led a majority of that race in the first race, and has just somehow recovered up into 5th place within 10 seconds, and he's also got the fastest lap. Can you believe how much on fumes that Doug Barrow is running on right now over the top of his field now? Superhero now, and Marcello going to be going at it again, and it's allowing Shadow and Dudley to break away. Superhero now back up into 3rd place, but I'm not sure that's going to last long after this race report is set and done. Marcello now back on the inside, going towards turn number 4, I believe.
Oh, that's late. Gets the move done, though. He's ahead. Force out wide. Superhero's on the inside line, though, but he's now on the outside line because It's now Marcello on the inside line. Marcello on the inside line, running in towards turn 6. Superhero, though, with the traction all the way around the outside. That, tell you what, that was absolutely brilliant to defend that position. Superhero ran the outside. It might have been a stupid move earlier on, but you've got to give him credit. He gave a lot of space there to Marcello, and he managed to absolutely clean sail him around the outside. That's the Superhero we know and love, not the aggressive one that we saw earlier on.
Yeah, Dudley has actually lost first place to Shadow. So something has happened to Dudley, and now Shadow's taking back that fastest lap. I'm not sure what the case that may be, unless it may be a penalty. I'm going to look back at the second times to see what the issue was.
Just picked up one. He just picked up one.
35-9. Yeah, so I'm kind of wondering if it was penalties there from the number 12. Yeah, another penalty to be served.
Marcello.
And this is allowing Shadow...
Run the outside line, a Superhero tries to look to the outside. Can he try and get the move done? He's going to get an awesome switch back here. Oh, that is absolutely brilliant. Marcello is through. Superhero, I am sorry. You need a new set of underwear for that one. Marcello is through, and he's into P3. Superhero trying to look to the outside line, though. He might not give this up without a fight. Marcello, though, is through. A clean switchback. And goodness me, Superhero now needs a new set of trousers.
James, I almost lost it when you said you didn't need a new set of underwear.
I tell you what, he's not giving this up without a fight, though. He's on the inside line running in towards turn 7. Can he get the move done? No, he can't. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this might be the final lap of the race coming up.
I think it most certainly will be, and this is allowing Shadow to just really play his cards really nice and clean. Still got a lot of overtake in that car. Dudley is just running on a bit of fumes. 1.8 seconds is the gap between these top two drivers. And I think this might be the final lap unless Shadow really plays it and wants to have a lap to celebrate it basically as he goes wide a little bit out through the first corner now. Marcello and Superhero are going to be running on fumes at the moment. Superhero got a bit more overtake than Marcello and the car in front of him, so the 5 and the 18 really going to go at it for the final time here for this final lap of the second round of the season. Superhero Marcello, Superhero on the outside, and Superhero, what a move by the 18 to get it on the outside for the final time, but Marcello not going to make it easy one bit for him, and he is going to be playing this very aggressively. Wouldn't he love a double podium as well as his teammate Shadow?
Brilliant stuff. Shadow leading, Dudley in second, Superhero in third, went round the outside there, Marcello in fourth. Doug's only 4.5 seconds off these guys. If this race was going a little bit longer, do you know what? I think Doug might actually have a chance of actually trying to get a podium out on track. However, we are nearly near the end of this race. Shadow leading the way, pretty much now up the hill. 10 seconds to go. It's not going to be enough, I'm afraid, for Shadow to get onto another lap. It's round the final couple of corners through Red Bull Mobile for the final time. Shadow is going to make really good hay from the feature race, and he wins. He doesn't care about the 5:10 penalty, but he does care about sending you fastest lap of the race. Dudley in second, Superhero to finish in third, Marcello to finish in fourth, Doug across the line to finish in fifth. Really good result from Doug in the end, only to finish 10.5 seconds off the lead of the race. C-Mech in sixth, Caliber recovered to seventh. He's going to feel really disappointed by that. Bar in eighth, Hair Racer is going to finish in ninth, Oliver's going to finish in 10th. We did lose a driver early on. I think Petrolhead went out the session, and we lost somebody else out on track as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was Gamer Coxie, I'm pretty sure. I was wondering the same exact thing as well. Then I was kind of wondering, and it was like, oh yeah, it was Gamer Coxie that unfortunately left the race. But Shadow, what a day he has had with a second place and another win to his credit to take it. But Superhero, I hate to say it, might not keep that podium pending the race steward action for that one set of whatever the heck that was. And unfortunately for Caliber, just really couldn't set it done and there. And we appear to have Caliber now joining the party, I think, with a full steam of ahead. And we got to get a couple of drivers in here in the hands of Dudley and Superhero, James.
Yeah, of course, we'll interview the top three. We'll talk to Caliber, though, who I know is here. Caliber, talk us through that race, because that, in the end, for me, was quite disgraceful driving, if I've got to be honest.
From who? From me?
From, well, the ghosting system, not from you, from Superhero trying to go down the inside.
I got fucking punted off. I tried to overtake on the outside. I outbrake myself. I'm honest, I outbrake myself, but I would have made the corner. I get a touch from someone. Was it March again? When it was fucking March again, I'm sorry for that words, but when it was him again, I will punt him off the next race. It's fucking done, guys. What the hell are we doing here? For fuck's sake. I want to drive, I want to have some fun, but that's not fun what we are doing. Everyone cuts corners, gets fucking out of the fucking track for 70 meters. Where the hell are we, guys? For fuck's sake, please. I nearly shoved off P8 or whoever that was who just attacked me. I was so angry about that guy. For fuck's sake, come on. I just want to have some clean fighting. That's all I want. I didn't saw that today. First race was okay. I must say, at least Shadow, you drove good. I have to say that. You didn't shove me off, I think. Like, absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous why it always happened to me. First lap, first corner on the second race, someone dives, someone be absolutely out to Narnia. Like, what the hell was that all about? I saw that the fucking whole race. I was third, and every one of you, first, second, fourth, and fifth had a penalty. I had not, but I lost the time, guys. Like, why? Why are you doing that all? Like, last corner all the time.
Let's cut in here. Let's get control of this stream before it gets out of control. So, all of those actions, all of those swear words are going to be taken into account by the stewards. If you're withdrawing, then withdraw. I don't care, to be honest. Let's interview the top three, the rightful top three, out on track before I really lose it on this stream. Leading the way, of course, in that race was well, Shadow. Shadow, you won out on track. Great drive from you.
I'm sorry.
Did you?
I'm out of here.
And there we are. That's what happens when you have a bit of an attitude within the league. Yeah, Shadow, first place for you here in the sprint race. You must be happy with that result. Yeah, retribution for the feature race, I think. Talk us through that race, though, because obviously you have been claimed that you were corner cutting and everything like that. I'm sure the stewards are going to investigate. I, for the stream purposes, is going to save the stream, the replay right now, and I've just saved that now, and I'll share it out later. But really good result from you, Shadow. Must be happy with Side Max as well. Yeah, the rest was indeed history out on track. We'll move on quickly to the man who finished in P2, Dudley. Dudley, a really good result from you. You must be happy with that result, despite the choice words. Yeah, stewards are definitely going to have a look at all of this race, I think, regardless. I know Palmer and Tice are going to be very busy people in the stewards' room. But second place for you, your best result of the season, I think, because you finished third and fourth last week in Suzuka. Must be happy with that, though. Good points. And we'll move on to the man who finished in P3 as well. And that, of course, well, I was going to have a look at the race results just to confirm it, but not. Superhero, are you here? P3 for you, really good result.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm very happy with that. But like I say, P3 is quite nice. I also had said in the chat as well, I don't feel like I deserve it. But at the same time, unfortunately, I don't know what's going on with the GT Sport. The ghosting system's lacking a bit. I don't know if the ghosting system's just throwing it out there. I personally do feel like, I think the first race, the feature race, was more better than the second race.
Yeah. Definitely, and I was speaking within that commentary as well within the sprint race. Driving standards from everyone. I'm not going to say to many, to general people, I'm going to say to everyone, they need to improve, guys. Come on. I mean, what is it? Racing or ping pong? Come on.
Good old Vettel quote, ain't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Good old Vettel.
Exactly. But Superhero, third place for you. Looking ahead into next week, I'll get a comment from each of you, going with Shadow first, who won. Going into next week in Fuji, how are you expecting it to go, Shadow? We'll have to wait and see, though. Never doubt yourself. Never doubt yourself. I think that's the lesson. Dudley, what about you? How are you going to take next week? If you see you.
Me?
Yeah, Dudley.
Oh, Dudley.
If you see you. Has he left?
Dudley! Dudley!
Well,
He's
we'll move,
okay.
we'll move to the man in P3 Superhero. What's your chances going into Fuji?
I feel like they did pretty well, although at the start when I joined in SRS for the pre-season, I thought the pre-season testing would be at in Fuji. So we can definitely say, same behalf of Baja, my great American teammate, Racing Pinks are going to be looking strong on that. We've noticed a lot with the Fuji tracks. It is kind of awkward and a shame that we ain't got the little hairpin bit. The other bit where you just go full flat out right, well not flat out, but it's quite a risky corner. I think that's going to get a lot of me. I think the other drivers are going to also struggle like that as well. But other than that, I feel like Fuji could go really well. Same as Suzuka. After that, go get some sushi.
Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good, but yeah, there we are. Yeah, Dudley, what's your expectations going into Fuji, Dudley? Yeah, hopefully it will be better than the two races that we've seen at Red Bull Ring. Gotta say, feature race, well done to everyone. Really good race in the feature race, despite the ghosting system failing. Despite the ghosting system failing in the sprint race, and despite some very choice words on this stream, which I hope will be edited out when this comes about. But honestly, guys, improve. Just improve. For God's sake, this is a league. Treat each other with a lot of respect. If you do not treat each other with respect, it's simple. You're out. Gone. That's it. Kaput. Just like this stream. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.